Hey there, I am Lauren, and when I talk about karma, I mean that it is the universe's way of keeping things in check, whether it takes 5 minutes or 5 years. You know, I did not exactly grow up with silver spoons and all that jazz. My parents passed away when I was just a teen, leaving me to fend for myself. It was a rough start to say the least. After their passing, I bounced around from one foster home to another, never really finding a place that felt like home. Once I aged out of the foster care system, I had to figure out how to survive on my own. I took whatever job I could get, usually low-paying jobs that barely paid the bills. But life has a funny way of throwing bricks at you, and one day, I found myself jobless with no savings to rely on. Rent was due, and there I was, stuck between a rock and a hard place. I could not keep up with the rent, so I packed up my stuff and ended up living in my old beat-up car. Homelessness was not something I'd ever imagined for myself. After 2 months on the streets, I was at my lowest point. Each day was a struggle, just trying to find food and shelter. But then, amid all that darkness, I met Edgar. Edgar's life was not a walk in the park either. He lived in this tiny one-room apartment with his mom, and they were both working their tails off to make ends meet. Our stories were pretty similar, and we were both trying to keep our heads above water. Fate brought us when I got a job together at Chick-fil-A where we both worked, and that's where our journey began. Our story is not your typical love story with fancy dates and all those nice things. We were both in survival mode, and we leaned on each other for support. Instead of dating, we focused on helping each other out. We wanted to break free of the cycle of financial struggle that had defined our lives for so long. We were both determined to get ahead and build a better future. Our mantra became simple: learn, grow, and persevere. Edgar found a job that offered better opportunities and a higher income. I, too, started landing more stable positions that aligned with my career goals. Our finances improved, and we started saving diligently. One of our proudest moments came when we finally had enough savings to buy our first house together. My mother-in-law, Maya, also moved in with us. So there we were, in our cozy home, making our dreams come true. One day, the much-awaited thing happened. Edgar popped the big question, and in the funniest and sweetest way possible. He held a Chick-fil-A sandwich with a ring in a box.
Lauren, you know we have been through it all. From those days when we struggled just to get by to now, owning this beautiful house together. Remember that time when we were working the late shift at Chick-fil-A and you made the biggest milkshake mess ever? Moments like that one, the laughter in the middle of chaos, made me fall for you even more.
And speaking of falling for each other, remember that night when we closed the restaurant together? It was pouring rain, and we shared an umbrella on our way to your tiny apartment.
I do. We were drenched, but somehow it felt like the most romantic moment ever. Lauren, every day with you has been a treasure. From Chick-fil-A to this moment. So, will you marry me and make the rest of my days just as special?
Oh my God, baby, absolutely, yes. Maya, my mother-in-law, and I never quite clicked. It was like mixing oil and water. Our exchanges were few, conversations awkward, and an unspoken tension always lingered even though we lived under the same roof. When Edgar proposed to me, I was elated beyond words. But when we shared the news with Maya, it was as if we dropped a bomb. Maya's face contorted, and her lips tightened to a thin line. She looked at us as though we had committed some unforgivable sin.
Edgar, can I talk to you in private? Sure, Mom. I will be back, honey.
Maya and Edgar headed into the next room, and even though I tried not to be nosy, their voices were loud, making it hard not to overhear. I could not resist the urge to find out Maya's thoughts since she was soon going to be my mother-in-law.
Look, Edgar, when you were dating her, I kept my lips sealed. But marrying her? I'm scratching my head here. Back when you two first met, we were not rolling in riches. But now that you have a good life, she's the one you want to settle down with? I mean, think this through, son. She's been through some tough times, and we have never had to deal with homelessness.
Mom, you are missing the bigger picture. Lauren and I have been each other's everything in ways you can't imagine. It's not about her past. It's about what we've built together and the love we share.
Well, I hope you're not jumping the gun. I can't help but wonder if she's a good match for our family. She doesn't come from the same background as you. At least you had a mom and a roof over your head at all times. You really don't know what these homeless people are like. The things they have done, the places they have been. It's not a world you're familiar with. I can't help but wonder if Lauren is just trying to entrap you in this marriage. You know, not everyone out there is as genuine as they seem.
Mom, you need to understand something. Homeless people are still people. They are human beings who have been faced unimaginable hardships. And guess what? Both of us could have ended up in their situation with just a few strokes of bad luck.
From that conversation Edgar had with Maya, I could not help but feel like she had strong reservations about me. It was evident that she did not approve of our relationship, and it stung. But I knew I could not let her disapproval affect my love for Edgar. We had made a decision, and we were going to go through with it. The big day rolled around, and despite Maya's reservations, we said our vows, promising to stick by each other's side. It was a beautiful day, full of love and happiness. Just a month into our marriage, I had another monumental piece of news, something that would reshape our lives. I was pregnant. I remember the day I shared the news with Edgar. He was so full of joy. We were in a stable position in our lives, with savings and a good income. There couldn't have been a more perfect time for this baby to come into our world. Little did I know that along with this pregnancy, Maya would bring hell upon me. It was like she went out of her way to make my life miserable. Instead of the support and happiness I expected during this life-altering moment, she piled on emotional abuse like it was her job. Maya's mood was down in the dumps right from the get-go after we shared the news of my pregnancy.
Mom, we wanted to share some news with you. Lauren is pregnant. We're going to have a baby in this house.
Yes, we are really excited.
Pregnant already? Well, I guess that is what happens when you rush into things. Just don't tell me there's going to be a little one out of this girl's womb running around here in this house soon.
Come on, Mom. Not right now. Why the hell would you say that? I remember how excited you have always been at the thought of being a grandmother. You can even start your knitting again and make some warm clothes for the baby.
Well, not when the mother of the child is someone like Lauren. I would prefer to keep my distance from the baby.
Mom, I thought you would be happy about this.
Lauren, it's about time you stopped calling me Mom. I have been meaning to tell you this. I'm Edgar's mom, not yours. Anyway, I have to meet up with some ladies from the club for tea. Goodbye.
During the first trimester of my pregnancy, life seemed easier. Edgar would head off to work, leaving me at home with Maya. Those days were anything but pleasant. Maya didn't miss an opportunity to taunt me or give me the cold shoulder, making it clear that she didn't approve of me or my baby. It felt like I was walking on eggshells in my own home, never knowing when the next verbal jab would come, but they were just words she attacked me with out of hatred. I did not want to stress myself out, so I did not pay attention to them. But things took a horrible turn in my 4th month. That's when my baby bump really started to show, and with it, the unwanted comments and humiliation from Maya. She started openly body shaming me, right in the comfort of our own home. She would look at me with disgust, making it clear that she thought I was becoming a fat cow. She called me pig, disgusting, and other hurtful names. Anytime she saw me munching on something, she would pounce on me like a hawk on a mouse. She would shame me for eating like it was a crime or something. But then one day, Maya took things to a whole new level. She walked up to me with a piece of paper in her hand.
I have got this diet plan for you. You have put on a lot of weight, and frankly, you look rather ugly these days.
Seriously?
Here's what you will be eating. A bowl of soup, a small salad, and some fruits.
This does not seem like enough for me and the baby.
Oh, don't worry. I took the exact same diet when I was pregnant with Edgar. I know what I'm doing. I will be preparing all your meals and you will stick to this plan.
Maya, are you sure this is necessary? I have been following my doctor's recommendations.
Doctors do not always know what's best. Trust me, this will get you back in shape.
Okay, if you think it's for the best.
Just don't tell Edgar. He won't get it. He doesn't believe in diets. And trust me, you don't want him to not be attracted to you anymore. It's a thing. I'm speaking from experience. Men like fit and beautiful women, not someone who has gained so much weight.
For a month, I obediently followed Maya's strict diet plan. She made sure I stuck to it, and I could only have what was on that piece of paper. No deviations, no extra snacks. I must admit, the diet was effective in terms of weight loss, but it was not at all healthy. However, following the diet came at a cost. I constantly felt weak and fatigued. There were moments when I could not even stand properly, and Edgar noticed it too. He expressed his concern, but I assured him it was just part of the pregnancy. One day, when Edgar and I were at our regular prenatal checkup, the doctor noticed something was off. He looked at my medical records and asked about my diet. He said that I had not been eating enough. I had not realized the toll this diet was taking on me, but now that a medical professional was pointing it out, I could not ignore it. Edgar, who had been listening, spoke up.
Doc, we will make sure Lauren gets the proper nutrition she needs. We don't want to jeopardize her health or the baby's.
As we drove home, I finally shared Maya's restrictive diet with Edgar. His concern turned to anger. The moment we got home, he lashed out at his mom.
Mom, we need to talk about this diet you put Lauren on.
What diet?
Don't play dumb, Mom. You gave her that strict diet plan, and she's been losing weight rapidly. It's affecting her health.
Well, I just wanted her to stay in shape during the pregnancy. I did not think it would harm the baby.
Mom, that's not how it works. The doctor said she needs proper nutrition for both her and the baby's health.
I did not know it would be this bad. I thought I was doing what was best for her.
Mom, you're a grown woman, and you've given birth before. You should have known better. Don't try to fool someone else with this act.
I am sorry.
I think that's enough, Edgar. She is apologizing. In the 6th month of my pregnancy, when I was already feeling exhausted and heavy, she found a new way to bother me. She began by faking a leg injury, claiming that she could not walk or do any chores around the house. I didn't mind helping out, but with a baby growing inside me, it was a real challenge. For 3 long months, I cooked, cleaned, and did all the household chores while Maya enjoyed the comfort of her supposed leg injury. It felt like she was trying to take advantage of me. Then came the day when Edgar planned a special dinner for just the 2 of us, just 1 week before my due date. We were looking forward to a relaxing evening, but our reservations got canceled at the last minute. We returned home earlier than expected, and what we saw shocked us. There was Maya, walking on both legs perfectly fine, not a hint of pain or discomfort. She was even carrying an Uber Eats delivery bag. It was clear that she had been deceiving us all along.
Mom, can you please explain why you pretended to have a leg injury for months? You made Lauren do all the work around the house for 3 months while she was pregnant.
I don't know what you're talking about, Edgar. My leg really hurt.
We just caught you red-handed, Mom.
You made me do laundry every single day, even though I'm in my 9th month. It was insane.
Well, I can't keep you around Lauren until the baby is here. We will not have you in the hospital when the baby is born.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Don't do this, please.
Your apology doesn't change what you did. You've caused me so much stress during this pregnancy, I can't even tell you. For an entire week, we maintained absolute silence with Maya. It wasn't easy, especially with the arrival of our baby, but we needed the space to breathe and process everything that had happened. Then, just as we were getting used to the calmness at home, the moment we had been eagerly awaiting and simultaneously draining finally arrived. It was in the kitchen when I felt a sudden gush of water running down my legs. My heart raced. I called out for Edgar, who rushed over in a panic when he saw the puddle forming at my feet. My water had broken, and there was no denying it. We had a plan in place, and I knew I did not want Maya anywhere near the delivery room. When I told Edgar it was time to go to the hospital, Maya insisted on coming along. It was clear she wanted to be there for the birth of her grandchild. We arrived at the hospital, and as I lay in my assigned room, I could not help but think about Maya. Even though things had been really rocky lately, she seemed like she really wanted to be here for the baby. She kept saying sorry, and maybe it was because I was about to become a mom, but I started to feel a bit more forgiving. The whole situation was just so emotional, you know? I guess I began to let my guard down a little. Edgar, call your mom. Ask her to come here. Maybe we can put this behind us, at least for now.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, I'm positive. He pulled out his phone and dialed Maya's number. After a few minutes, Maya arrived at the hospital, having taken a cab.
I know I've been terrible, and I should never have let my jealousy and anger mess things up like this.
Maya, let's not focus on our problems right now. I want our baby's birth to be a happy moment for all of us. Can we try to get along today at least? As the hours passed, the pain intensified, and the doctor informed me that it was finally time. In the delivery room, I could see Edgar standing nervously in a corner, looking a bit queasy at the sight of blood. The doctors and nurses were focused on guiding me through the whole process. As I pushed and strained, the room seemed to fade away, and the only voices that reached me were those of the doctors and nurses encouraging me to keep going. Then, in the midst of it all, I heard Maya's voice. She said something I couldn't quite make out, but it caught me off guard and momentarily pulled me out of my focused state.
Hey, are you really sure about all this? I mean, look at Lauren, all sweaty and in pain. And with that figure, she looks like a pig. She's not pretty. She's not smart.
Not right now, Mom.
Well, I'm just saying this as your mother. Do you really want her baby? You've got time to think about it, you know. She used to be homeless, and who knows what she did back then to survive. Maybe even got cozy with other people. You know how promiscuous some women can be. They can never change.
How dare you question Lauren's character like that, Mom?
I mean, I'm just saying, are you really sure this baby she's pushing out right now is yours?
Mom, enough. You think you can get in my head like that? Get out of this room before I cause a scene.
Okay, fine. But really, son, you better think this through.
As Maya left the room, I felt utterly exhausted. I almost passed out from the intensity of it all. But then the nurses gently placed my baby boy in my arms, and all that pain seemed worth it. I was overwhelmed with happiness, holding my little one close. Edgar walked up to me, his eyes filled with pride and love. He kissed me gently. He walked out without saying a word and came back inside again with Maya this time.
Mom, you owe Lauren an apology for all the trouble you've caused.
Nah, not going to.
Mom?
Fine. I'm sorry, Lauren.
I don't know if I can forgive you.
Mom, the stuff you said today was pretty harsh. So here's the deal. I need you to pack up and leave our place. Go live with your friends, your relatives, I don't care, but you can't be around my wife and our baby anymore.
Come on, Edgar. I don't have a place to go.
Go to your old apartment. Doesn't matter to me. You've had your chances. Just don't contact us ever again.
Edgar, pretty please.
Maya was now literally begging, and it looked like she would soon drop to her knees to get out of the situation.
Start walking or I'm dialing security.
Today marks 1 month since our adorable Andrew came into the world. He is our second son, and of course we have Cal. It feels like just yesterday he was born. Life has done a complete 180 for me, and I have come a long way, I must say. I am a mother of 2, and I still cannot believe it. Delivering my baby reminded me of this whole thing I dealt with while I was pregnant with Cal for the first time, and when Maya was around, so I decided to write it down here. My second pregnancy was far better than the first one. And if you're wondering where Maya has been for these last 2 years, we simply don't know. When she first moved out, she went to stay with her distant cousin, and ever since then, we haven't heard from her. At first, I felt a bit guilty about kicking her out like that, but really? It's just karma catching up with her, plain and simple. It might not happen overnight, but eventually the universe evens the score. Edgar and I busted our butts to build a life together, making our dreams a reality. I can't help but think that maybe the universe has a way of making things right after all.